I was researching for this Keep It 100, which is all about just ask. And I was reminded of a movie I saw a long time ago, Out of Sight, with J-Lo and George Clooney. And I think he said something like, you'd be surprised what you can get if you ask for it the right way. This reminds me of an incredible lesson I had while I was working at WWE with one of the greatest bosses of all time, Mr. Duncan Leslie. And our son Marlon was going to be born within the next few weeks, and that job required a lot of travel. So every single weekend I would be on an airplane or a bus with a great group of guys and girls, but we'd be all over the country or the world, and I just didn't want to miss our son being born. And I had a lot of anxiety, and I was scared, and I didn't know what to do, and I wanted to make sure I was here, but I wanted to be a good employee. So I just asked. And I talked to my boss, Duncan, and I said, hey, I have some apprehension and guilt and nerves. And he goes, no problem. He goes, let's just cross-train the person who can do the role and help. Take some time and be there with your family. Incredible, clear leadership just because I asked. The cool part of who I ended up working with, my man, Mike Mansury, we worked together very closely. We were in Mexico the first time, and we just hit it off. And I got to watch his genius, his wit, his creativity on the fly. And he was so coachable, and he was way far advanced by the time I got to connect with him. But we got to talk shop and philosophy of what live events is, and psychology of wrestlers and superstars and performers and what that all looked like. And the dude just kept climbing and climbing and climbing. So he got really big, doing awesome things at WWE. And then he kept on going and went to one championship out in Singapore, where we got to work on a project together. And now he's in charge of all the goodness that is AEW. So I got to say thank you to my man Mike, because he allowed me to be present and aware and full of love when our son was born. I got to thank my man Duncan Leslie for being the kind of leader who allowed you to just ask. And both of those guys taught me the power of lose the ego, just ask, cross-train people, rising tide raises all ships. And it makes happy creating